For AES, again, nothing with regards to history, but do understand the restrictions, right? So the block size, the key size that you're able to use, so those will be in there. Similar to DES, right? So understand again, how many bits does it take for the block? How many rounds do you have? The master key, how many sub keys are used in every single round? Remember that it has pre-calculation keys, right? Remember that each round uses 4 keys, and then you have ciphertext of 128 bits. Same thing, understand the diagrams. For AES, one of the big things, right, that we have with these diagrams is round number 10, right? So the last round doesn't have the mixed columns, right? That was the big thing with regards to this. So keep that in mind. It'll probably be in there. Again, no tables. No tables. Again, note that there's 40 words, 10 rounds, and then 4 words for pre-analyzation, right? So total of 44 words. For AS, S boxes, note this. You guys may have an example in there along the lines of this in here. So again, I won't give you a table, but I do expect you guys to know that, again, in this case, the first leftmost 4 bits are going to be your row. The rightmost 4 bits are going to be your column. Again, no tables. The shifting of the rows. The only thing that I expect you guys to know in here is how matrices actually get multiplied, right? So remember that, again, we went over this, so make sure you guys know. You guys shouldn't have anything from here. All right, so RSA. So this will be your exam. No history. You guys should know PQ and 5 band, so this will be in there. Again, this is more history, so I don't expect you guys to know this. Again, I'm not going to give an example. Primality test, again, not there. Euclid's proof, not there. I'm not going to have you guys compute anything, so you guys should not have to worry about this. The only thing that may possibly be there is this guidance with regards to E, right? It has to be between 1 and 5 band. And then with regards to D, it has to follow this, right? So D times E equals mod 5 band equals to 1. And then one of the things that we said in here was that if you were to pick any number, right, that gives you 1, then you should be able to use it. So that's lecture 7. If you Hellman, you guys will see this in there. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Yep, things to remember. There shouldn't be anything from here. And I'm not going to ask you to calculate keys. You guys may see this diagram though, right? And again, you guys should know that Alice has a private key, Bob has a private key, right? There is an alpha, right? Which again, in this case, and then there is going to be a prime, right? So AG, which is a generator. So again, you use the private key, right? And then you are going to raise it to the generator number, which in our lecture was just alpha, right? So you guys may see this diagram. And again, they need to create the public keys. They will exchange those public keys. And then you need to calculate the share secret key. Again, I'm not going to ask you to calculate them. You guys just should know that, again, they start off with private keys. They need to create the public keys. And then they need to create the share key, which is the private key, right, with regards to this. And then if and only if both of those are equal, then we know that, again, you can start a secure connection and then actually share those keys. So again, the last one's a table, so nothing from there. All right, identification and authentication. 3 steps, it will be in there. What is the definition of identification? That will be in there. Who we claim to be, that will be in there. Identity verification, that will be in there. The only thing that you guys will see with regards to falsifying identification, it will be a question along the lines of where can you possibly get, a fake ID? And again, black market, dark web type of things, right? So why is identity important? That should be in there. Again, what is authentication? That is going to be in there. Factors, you're definitely going to have those in there. So this goes back to this right here, right? Something you know, something you have, something about you. Remember that we mentioned in this class, something you are is not a thing. So something you know, something you have, something about you. Multi-factor authentication, that would definitely be in there. And please don't get this confused, right? So two-factor authentication refers to actually just two factors, not multi-factor, okay? Mutual authentication, that will be in there. The only thing with regards to passwords is going to be this right here at the end. Authentication, that will be in there. And that should cover this. Right, authorization access control. So what is authorization? This will be in there for sure. The principal is privilege, so make sure you understand what that is, right? And how does it get implemented. Will be in there. The 4 basic tasks of access control. So allowing access, denying access, limiting access, revoking access, all of those will be in there. Know what an ACL is. Again, permissions, right? Read, write, execute. Know the groupings with regards to Linux, right? I give you guys those. Know how permissions work in the sense of what are the numbers, right? So again, this is where the segments are, right? So owner group and then everything else. Know what DAC is, know what MAC is, know what role-based access control is, ABAC. Both of the models, right? So Valpuya model along with the Vivo model. You guys should understand those two. And that covers lecture 10. And then lecture 11. Again, where's malicious software? With regards to terminology, it will only be the ones that we went over, right? So APT, perhaps adware, backdoor, exploits, keyloggers, logic bomb, rootkit, spyware, Trojan horse, virus, worm, and zombie. You guys should know those. Again, viruses, worms, trojans, rootkits, that will be in there. Insider attacks, insider threats, right? So know those. And we talked about backdoors. We talked about non-malicious backdoors, logic bombs, history, more history. We talked about defense against an insider threat, right? And I walked you guys through every single one of those squares and I give you guys examples, right? So you guys should be familiar with this. There may be a scenario question where, again, you guys are going to have multiple parts with regards to this. Trojan horse, again, history, financial implications, adware, spyware, fileless malware, right? We did go over fileless malware. There's a couple things that are obviously not on the slide, but you guys should be aware of, obviously, fileless malware, right? And the things that we discussed in class with regards to this. Signatures, everybody should know how signatures work. We talked about blacklisting and whitelisting. Heuristic analysis, the difference between shield and on-demand, again, those will be in there. Online versus offline. The quarantine folder, how it works. And then static and dynamic analysis. So that's where we end with regards to all the lectures, right? And then we talked about lab 1, lab 2, and then lab number 3. So all of those will be part of your midterm exam as well. So I will ask you guys questions with regards to lab number 2, lab number 3, and then lab number 1. Anything else that you guys can think of? Any questions? Everyone good on how it's going to play out? By the way, you're not going to be able to go back on the exam, just so you know. You guys should have, I think, 1 or 2 questions per page. And then, once you click next, then you're not going to be able to go back. Okay? And I don't have anything else other than, like I said, I open it at 9 a.m., close 9 p.m., right? I do get, like I said, life happens, and I know, hopefully nothing happens on Wednesday. But if it does,